Hi friends, good to see you again. Hope you all are doing well. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to create textured backgrounds for your cards. I'll be sharing 2 card ideas, so let's get started. I'm going to begin by stamping this beautiful rose from the Congratulations stamp set from CrafTangles. Placing the cardstock in the stamping tool, apply the transparent Versamark ink on the clear stamp. Now press the stamp over the cardstock to get a transparent watermark impression. Next, pour some gold embossing powder over the stamped impression. The powder sticks to the sticky impression on the paper. Using a heat gun, I'll melt the embossing powder. Make sure that your heat gun is nice and hot so that the embossing powder melts faster without warping the cardstock. Similarly, I'll stamp one more rose, but this time I'll use a black glitter embossing powder. Here, I'm applying some anti-static powder on the cardstock before stamping so that the powder sticks only to the stamped image and nowhere else. I had actually forgotten to do this earlier for the first rose. I'm coloring my roses with some dual tip brush pens. You can use any coloring medium. So here are my 2 roses, colored and fussy cut, ready to go on the cards. For the first card, I'll be using modeling paste to create the textured background. So first, I'll tape my brick wall stencil over my card panel, and then using a palette knife, I'll generously apply 1 coat of modeling paste. Scoop off the excess paste from the card to get a uniform finish. Carefully remove your stencil. Make sure you clean your stencil and palette knife immediately and don't let the paste harden on it. I'm drying the modeling paste with a heat gun to speed up the drying process. However, you can let it air dry naturally. It may just take a few more minutes. Here's my brick wall background nicely dried. Using a blending brush, I'm going to lightly apply some sky blue ink. I'm applying the ink with a very light hand so that I get a very subtle blue background. For the sentiment on the card, I'm using the mini bunch stamp set from Mudra. As I did previously, I'm going to heat set the Just For You sentiment with white embossing powder on a blue cardstock. I'll trim the sentiment strip to a smaller size and then back it with double-sided foam tape. Now let's assemble the card. First, I'll adhere the rose using double-sided foam tape and then the sentiment. Stick the panel on a blue cardstock that is 1/8 inch bigger than our panel. Next, let's adhere our final piece on a white base card. And this completes our first card. I love how the textured background of the card enhances the look of the otherwise simple card. For the second card, let's use the floral background embossing folder. On the tab 2 of your die cutting machine, place your first cutting plate, then place your embossing folder with the cardstock in it, and then place the second cutting plate. I always use a scrap cardstock as an extra shim between the cutting plates. Run this sandwich through the die cutting machine to and fro to get an impression. Look at the beautiful background the embossing folder has created. For this card too, I will ink the background with a pale pink ink using a very light hand. This time I will directly stamp the sentiment on the textured background. For the sub-sentiment, I am heat embossing a happy birthday with white embossing powder on a dark pink cardstock. I have put double-sided foam tape behind the rose and the second sentiment too. I colored the edge of the tape with the same color as the cardstock so that the tape is not visible when the card is held upright. Stick the card panel on a dark pink cardstock and then stick the same on a white base card. And here our second card is also ready. Though the background is not raised like the first card, yet it looks beautiful. So that's all from me, friends. Do let me know in the comments whether you found these techniques interesting. Please do like, share and comment on my videos to help me bring you better content. Also consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video. Take care and stay safe.